Okay, this is Twilight Finds a Book of Puns by Troll. Well, this is interesting. Twilight's horn glowed as she pulled a dusty old book out of one of the shelves. Stuck all the way in the corner of the library, the shelf wasn't used much, and the books weren't usually read. However, Twilight had read mostly all of the books in the library, including all the new ones that had just come in the day before. This book was dusty, and Twilight had never seen it before. She blew on the cover, pushing a sheet of dust off of it, and revealing the title. "The Equestrian Dictionary of Puns?" she said, brushing off the book of any remaining dust. The book was large, almost the size of a normal dictionary, and it had pages filled with spaced-out puns. Twilight delved into the book, opening to the first page and reading it quickly. By the time it was noon, she had already finished the entire book. Inside her head, puns bounced around, covering her mind. She looked around, and every object she saw was now an object of pun. Looking at the clock, she saw that it was about noontime, and that she had promised to meet her friends near the fountain in the central square. Placing the book back on the shelf, she trotted out of the library and toward the fountain. "Hey, girls!" called Twilight, trotting up to her group of friends as they waited for her by the fountain. "Hey, Twilight! How's it going?" said Rainbow Dash, stopping her conversation with Applejack. "It's not too bad," said Twilight, staring at that fountain behind them. "What are you up to?" "Nothing much. We were actually just planning to go by the beach a couple of minutes outside of Ponyville. Want to come?" "I'd love to, as long as it doesn't take a mile to get there." "What?" "Oh, nothing." The ponies all agreed that going to the beach would be the best idea on such a hot day, so they began their trek. They trotted through Ponyville, going through Central Square that was bustling with ponies. Applejack decided to stop and buy an apple for a snack. "One apple, please," said Applejack, sliding one bit to the pony behind the stand. She came back with 2 apples, even though the sign said that it was 1 bit per apple. Applejack picked up the apples one at a time, eating one whole right as she took it off the stand. "I thought each apple was 1 bit. How did you get 2? said Rarity, as Applejack chewed on her apple. "She must be an insider in the apple business. Get it, cider?" chimed Twilight. Applejack swallowed her apple. "Twilight's right. Us here apple-growing folks are in the business together, which means discounts." Rarity nodded. "It's nothing like that in the fashion business." "That's probably because it's so competitive. Every fashion designer wants their competition store to clothes." "I suppose you're right, Twilight." Twilight frowned. None of her friends were picking up on her brilliant use of puns. She had to up the usage, and fast, if she wanted the dictionary to be of any use to her. The ponies exited Ponyville and entered a forest filled with tall trees that were spaced out just enough to allow the sunlight to come through. "Would you look at this? Leave it to nature to make paths like these beautiful," said Twilight, looking around at everything around her. "I'm not so fond of these ferns, but that's oak, because if you look around, the trees spruce up things." "Twilight, stop using puns," said Rainbow Dash. "You've noticed?" said Twilight, a smile coming to her face. "We all noticed, Twilight," said Applejack. "And it's annoying," finished Rarity. "Sorry," said Twilight, putting on a sheepish smile. "I didn't know you were a fan of my pleasant tree," Applejack groaned. "Will you stop making bad jokes, Twilight? Sorry, I've got them rooted in my brain." "If you're going to tell jokes, tell them later. Right now we need to focus on getting to the beach," said Rainbow Dash. "But Rainbow Dash, there is no time for rest. I can't save these jokes for later." Twilight let out a small giggle as Rainbow Dash rolled her eyes. Twilight, even I don't think these are funny," said Pinkie Pie. "Yes, Twilight, please stop these bad jokes," said Rarity. "I see your sycamore puns, but I hope you stick around because they're just blooming, and I'm liking them." Twilight broke out into a wide smile, unable to hide her glee any longer. She thought the puns were hilarious, while every pony else just groaned at the sound of them. Twilight, stop! Even Fluttershy's tired of them, said Applejack. Well, stuttered Fluttershy. She bowed her head. It's true. I don't like them, she croaked in a raspy voice. Twilight looked at Fluttershy. Fine, I'll stop. But you will owe me one. With a final groan, the ponies silently made their way through the forest into the beach, lest they talk and spur more puns from Twilight. They finally made their way out of the forest and into the sandy beach area. Nearby was a tall cliff overlooking the blue water. It could almost be considered a mountain, had it not been over the water. Twilight started to smile, and the water section of the dictionary fluttered into her mind. Oh no, now I'm picking up on puns. Okay. Hey look, it's the ocean, she yelled. Every pony wave! Before the ponies could groan, Twilight was already on to her next pun. I'm sure we'll have a fun time here, but if you see a storm, we'll have to leave. I'm getting a little tongue-tied with all these puns, but they're cracking me up. I shall not bait any longer. Let's go test the water. Twilight, stop, said a bemused Applejack. Well, I guess I cod, but what are we going to do? This trip has no porpoise if I can't make puns. Seriously, Twilight, it's getting old, said Rarity. Peer pressure has no effect on me. No pony pikes your puns, said Rainbow Dash. I eel a little bad making all these puns, but what are you going to do? The ponies gave up. There is no stopping Twilight now. Suddenly Spike came running through the forest and into the beach holding a letter from Celestia. He had hair above his lip. Twilight, I must ask you a question, he exclaimed. All right, what is it? Did you see Celestia about sending the dresses to Neptune? Dresses to Neptune? It's freezing up there, exclaimed Rarity. What is going on, Twilight? Oh, nothing, Rarity. I just wanted to have the coolest outfits. Spike and Twilight broke out into laughter. Rarity started to giggle, and it eventually grew into a laugh. Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, and Applejack all joined in, finding humor in the pun. I think I missed it. Oh, the coolest outfits. Oh, that was subtle. Okay. Fluttershy remained Fluttershy remained silent. What's wrong, Fluttershy? You didn't find it funny? Asked Twilight, after she had finished laughing. I did, but I don't really want to laugh, said Fluttershy. She paused for a moment. Because I'm a little hoarse. That was bien. I'm sure we'll have a fun time here, but if you see a storm, we'll have to leave. I'm getting a little tongue-tied with all these puns, but they're cracking me up. I shall not bait any longer. Let's go test the water. This trip has no porpoise. Well, I guess I cod, but what are we going to do? That's 4 puns in one sentence. Whale, I guess I cod, but what are we going to do? And do is spelled D-E-W.